guys, it's Sarah. So I sound so fucking, like I sound like a beauty guru. It's Sarah. I'm gonna be talking about my mushroom trip, my first mushroom trip. My first mushroom trip, I took 1 gram, and that was pretty much nothing. No, it was beautiful. It was the first time I ever got like that open-minded feeling. It was a nice introduction to shrooms. And so the second time I thought I was ready to do 4 grams, just jump up ahead to it. So I took 4 grams and I walked to a park near my house. I ended up, it ended up hitting me about an hour and a half later. And by that point, I thought it wasn't going to work. I thought it was fucking bad shrooms, so I was already in a bad mindset, which is not a good thing to start with. You should really clear your mind and not have such negative thoughts about it. Whatever happens, happens. You have to be, like, accepting. But this was my first time. I was 18 years old. I'm now 21, so not much older, but still. I was kind of frustrated. So I was like, shit, these don't work, whatever. I should head back. So all of a sudden, I am in the park still, and I'm listening to Stylo by the Gorillaz, and I can still remember that this was the song because it scarred me so much, and to this day, I still listen to that song and get the scariest fucking feeling, because it was the first time I ever experienced a shroom come up. And during the come up, I immediately started losing track of reality. I was feeling scared, I got freezing cold, I was nervous, I was paranoid, my thoughts were racing and didn't make sense. And I had no idea what to do. I started yawning, my eyes were watering, those typical physical feelings, and I started getting weird beginnings of hallucinations, such as like rainbows in a lot of things, like reflections in the grass, warping images of the field kind of going like that, the tree kind of breathing in and out, typical come up shroomy hallucinations. So I'm going to go quickly into why I believe, and I think it's a pretty like accepted theory of why we get so nervous in the come up and kind of what shrooms is. So basically through our entire lives we block out so much stimuli for our survival as human beings. We block out external stimuli in color, sound, visuals, everything, just so we can survive and keep on guard if a fucking snake comes to attack us, right? So what shrooms does is it takes down these barriers so you can see what is truly there that your mind usually blocks out. So you can see the colors your mind blocks out, see the beauty in a flower that would distract you for hours while you're trying to get food. Literally, a tiger would be coming to chase us as human beings, and we would be too distracted by every single fucking flower to ever survive, and we would not be here right now if our minds didn't block all that stuff out. So shrooms kind of gives us a break from the blockage, and it lets us see reality as it is, which is why a lot of people describe the feeling of waking up during psychedelics, the feeling of seeing reality for the first time, all that stuff. So, and it's a beautiful feeling. It's a refreshing feeling. It's a really amazing, eye-opening, perspective-shifting feeling to take out those blockages and see life as it is because you have such a clear mind, literally, after. So, but while you're in this shift, your mind, your body is rejecting it because it's trying to keep itself safe. It's trying to keep itself on guard. It doesn't want to be off guard, right? It's a poison coming into your body, changing you to make your survival mechanisms off guard. So that's why you kind of get the scary come up feelings. But eventually you do plateau, and those usually last for about an hour. So after that, I ended up going to I thought a person was looking at me. Who knows if they were? Maybe they were, but I don't know. So I ended up bolting and fucking running into an expensive neighborhood near the park, like a fucking really expensive neighborhood, high class with a gate and everything, and I walked into it. And I started walking around. I'm tripping balls. I'm coming up. I'm seeing houses wave. I'm seeing red flashes in windows that I think are like murder movie scenes with like silhouettes of people like murdering people, but only in the corner of my eye. I didn't fully see those straight on. So my mind was playing a lot of like tricks on me because I was going in a very paranoid mood. And during that entire time, I had the mentality of I need to find somewhere to go. This is important to think about later because it all comes together. Shrooms always has like a metaphorical message at the end of it during every trip in my experience. So this was the message beginning. I didn't have anywhere to go. I wasn't safe. I didn't feel like I had a home. So eventually, after exploring there a lot of times, I had the wits about me to go back to the park because I couldn't go home, couldn't go to my friend's house, couldn't let anyone know I was tripping. So I went back to the park and found this little hill that overlooked the entire field so I could see if anybody was coming at me. All the cops that were apparently chasing me were coming to find me. So I go onto this hill. It's about 9 feet tall, and it's like kind of lined with trees. And I, this was literally the most beautiful fucking trip I've ever had. Literally to this day. The first trip was my favorite. I sat there in a fetal position. This is in November, so it's freezing cold. I sat in Toronto. And it was as if I had met an old friend I had forgotten about for the first time in years, in like 20 years, 21 years. And that was the universe. That friend was the universe. I was welcomed by this force, by this being that has no face, no shape, no anything, but just a presence that you feel in your bones that was saying, welcome back, welcome up, like welcome, like you're back, like finally. And my mind went from scared to confident in about 10 minutes of sitting there. I was now literally on top of the world, and it felt as if an alien presence had possessed me and was seeing a human life for the first time through my eyes. So everything it saw, it was so amazed with and found so beautiful and hilarious. And the shrooms kept showing me these funny images, because I think shrooms have an actual sense of humor. And it's kind of a cheesy, like, jokey, like, kiddish sense of humor. And it shows me, like, rainbow frogs. Like, that's what I kept, like, if I would close my eyes, I'd see, like, little rainbow frogs. Like, cute little cartoon rainbow frogs. When I'd open my eyes, everything kind of had a 3D image to it. Like, you know when you take off your 3D glasses and look at a movie? That's what it looked like, and everything was shifting from back and forth. So I was seeing things so clearly, so beautifully. I could look at a tree and see the entire intricacy of the bark, of the leaves, everything. And I was laughing my ass off at how funny everything was, because it was so amazing. I was laughing at my problems. I was laughing at my fears. Literally laughing, like dying of laughter that a human is so funny, that life is so funny, but in a beautiful way, not in like a condescending way, but in a, this is amazing. Like they think that this is their problems. And I kept saying everything as they too, as she. I'd refer to myself as a she in third person. I'd refer to human beings as they. And I'd say humans too. I wouldn't say us. So that was pretty interesting. I mainly was talking to the trees. I started talking out loud. And I was talking to the trees and saying, this is the best party I've ever been to. You guys are so nice. Like, sorry for leaning on you. Because I was leaning on one of the trees. I'm like, sorry. Like, I just want to be here. Like, thank you guys so much for having me. Literally, like, going crazy. And I felt such a connection with them. And they were standing there as trees. And they were just watching me through this and having so much fun that I was there. And they were so happy that I was there. And I was so happy to be there, and it felt like friendship. It felt like I was closed in a safe place, and they were keeping me safe and telling me, not through words, but through feelings, that they would keep me safe through all of this. So I was with them for a long time. I ended up looking in different directions and seeing like different scenes, and each time I turned my head, it felt like I entered a different dimension. Lights were bright and glowing. Everything had a 3D image to it. I would look at one scene and be like, this is so cute. Like, look at those buildings. It's so cute. Like, laugh, die of laughter. Cue the next scene, die of laughter. Same kind of thing. I was touching the trees. I didn't want to lean on any of them. Didn't want to bother them. Like, like they were real, which I think they are. I truly believe after that they are alive and have a presence. Maybe not in our terms, but in a universe term, yes. And I ended up sticking my hand in the soil and watched it disappear, and then pulling it out and seeing that everything was just images. Everything is just your five senses, and those can be so easily diluted and so easily changed. For example, I'm on mushrooms. Anything I see is real because it's my five senses. Anything I see in reality is real because it's my five senses, but it's real only in a subjective term. And that was an interesting thought. I was playing with these little straw sticks and having so much fun playing with them, and they felt so cute in my hand and so beautiful to touch. All my senses were on blast. I could feel everything better. I could see everything better. I could smell everything better. And yeah, it was amazing. I then had this thought about how I was looking so much for somewhere to go, and some people have that feeling for their entire lives. Some people never really feel like they have a home to go to, whether it be people in horrible country situations, whether it be people in our own neighborhoods that have no home, whether it be people that have homes but don't feel like it's their home. and it made me bawl my fucking eyes out to a point that I've never ever cried in my life, never felt that type of emotion before, and the only thing it can be called is melancholy, which is why later I refer to that hill as Melancholy Hill, because I was listening to the Gorillaz the entire time. That's a Gorillaz song, and I felt the most melancholy feeling I'd ever felt in my life to the most strong degree, because when you're on shrooms, every emotion is so unblocked by your survival mechanisms. You feel things so much stronger, and it felt like that was the first time I was feeling sadness ever. So I was bawling my eyes out, which then turned into crying for myself in a very self-pitying way of all the pain I've went through, pain and all the sorrow, everything. And then it turned to a thought and feeling of, this pain is so fucking beautiful. It's disgusting and ugly and it's horrible, but it's fucking beautiful because we're human beings and we have the ability to feel such a wide range of emotions, including pain, that we're so blessed to feel. We are not, I don't know, blessed by who, but just so, it's an amazing feeling that we can explore. We have the ability to feel. And it's such a human feeling that only human beings can feel. Out of the entire universe, us human beings have the ability to only feel our type of emotions in a humanistic way. And I don't know if that made any sense, but it made sense to me. And yeah, so I was happy about that. And then I realized that I felt like I was home there. I was amongst the trees. I was on a hill in the middle of a fucking field. Cars going by the highway next to me, and I felt like I was home. And then I realized that home is everywhere. The universe is always with you. It's always keeping us safe. It's always loving us. The entire universe loves us. That's the number one thing you learn from psychedelics, at least I have, is that the entire universe always loves you. That friend feeling that felt like I'd come back to them after a long time is because I hadn't focused on them. They had always been with me, but I had not focused on them. And by them, I mean the entire universe. The entire being that of us, the entire oneness of everything. I know I just rambled, and I hope that made sense to some people, but yeah, that's what I felt, and it's still with me right now. It's still there, and being proud of us at every step we take, being happy with us, and I think that's what some people describe God as, I guess. I don't want to put labels on it, but that's what I feel. And it's a one universe that loves everything, and pain, everything even bad in it is beautiful. So yeah, that's what I felt on my first shroom trip. I ended up being so happy for the next months of my life, because it was the first time I ever saw reality, ever. I'd never truly seen reality before that day, so that was the first eye-opening experience of what the fuck is happening. Even though it's a barely glimpse into what reality truly is, or the true truth behind everything. But that was one cool experience, and it opened my eyes and made me want to do shrooms for the rest of my life. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I'm literally speechless thinking about that trip right now, actually, because it's so weird to think back on it and think about how much it really affected me, and I'm sure it triggered me to be so different in my life. I became so empathetic. I became so humbled by that experience, humbled by knowing that I know nothing, humbled by the feeling that there's a huge force in this universe that, yes, I'm a part of, but as a human being, I have no power over. I'm watching a movie of my own life, literally. I have no power over nature. I have no power over nurture. I have no power over determinism. I have no power over the forces that affect me. Nothing. And that might seem weak to some people, but I don't think it is. I'm sure that it may seem that I have power over something, like I can affect somebody else, but that choice to affect somebody else, either in a positive or negative way, is by something that affected me before. It's a domino effect from the beginning of time. And I know that just went on to a random other spiel, but yeah. Moral of the story, first time doing shrooms, best time of my life. Changed my life for the better and made my life a lot more magical than it was before. And it made me see the magic in life and that oneness that exists within the universe between you and I, that we're literally the same thing, that the only thing that really separates us is our egos that are not real anyways, and our brain constructs that will die when we die, and the rest of us will live on in the universe as the oneness that we are. So yeah, that's my shroom experience. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching 14 minutes. Yeah, okay, bye.